getting rolling. If you get inside chat, just give me a quick hey. I guess I should update social media. Apparently didn't update my stream name. That's cool. That's all right. What is it using for a stream? I see. Okay. All right, see if there's 4 viewers so far. So if you jump in, just give me a hey. I can see a couple people viewing. I just can't see who all's there. That's weird that it does it that way. Okay. What's up, Victor? Vic? I don't know why I said Victor. I know you go by Vic. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to get my channel information correct. There we go. What's up, Vincent? Cool. All right. Making some progress. Let's see. No, don't want that about me. I just want my stream link. Come on, you can do it. So we're kind of gonna just do whatever you guys want tonight. I was thinking we could maybe make a scene from start to end and like bring in a model, get some material, get it set up, connecting things where they need to go. So like where ambient occlusion goes and where emissions go and things like that. And just kind of play around, and then I might take it into Fusion, talk about multipasses and things, see what we can do in under an hour. There we go, got it. Doot. Just gonna go in Slack. Cool. All right. Good enough. All right, so I might wait a couple more minutes. I see like 6 people have shown up. Hopefully a few more come along. But if not, we'll just get rolling. If anyone has any questions, just throw it into the chat and I will answer as we go along. What's up, Serge? All right. But for now, I think I'm going to just start with that. Just bring in an object, and we'll start building it out. Because I have a tutorial already out on how to do a bloom, but I don't really cover setting up the model and everything. So I was looking at that today and thinking that might be fun to do. Nope. Cool. Yep, cool. We can do that for sure. All right, let's kill that. All right, so I've got this cool little drone model. You can just see it right here. Got it off Sage Trader or Turbo Squid a while ago. If you want to go back and see how to just quickly do some compositing and multipasses and things like that, I have a tutorial on that. But why don't we talk about how to set this up and get the material going and all the things that go into that. So first off, I'm going to bring in material, of course, quickly, just call it drone. And all this can be closed up. And all we really need to focus on is right here, because it's got a really nice UV map already, and it's got textures. So we're just going to talk about building out the texture with everything that came with it. So if we go into the shader graph, I'll slide this up. Here's our material, and we're going to start bringing in textures like so. Let's go ahead and look in our folder and see what we have. So go back to production, tutorial, like that, and bloom. So here's our texture folder. So first we're going to do our base color, which is right here. Oh my God, it's happening. What's up? Film the channel. What's up, man? Yeah, it's been a while since we've done a Brograph live stream and stream to mine at the same time. Holidays got crazy, and Brograph was up in Canada doing crazy dead mouse things. If you haven't checked that out, go to Brograph. I guess brograph.com should have it. But check it out in the Slack, brograph.com/Slack. You can see all the stuff that happened with deadmau5 or listen to the podcast. I feel I'd really have to clean up my computer if I ever did a live video. You know, it actually really doesn't take up too many resources. Let's see. Right now, my CPU is at 14%, and I'm doing 24 frames per second, and this should be streaming at 4K. It's been a while since I checked the settings, but it should be streaming at 4K, maybe 2K. So yeah, you don't have to do too much. It helps to have more than one graphics card for sure. All right, so back to this. This is going to be our base diffuse, call it something like that. And if you just want to see it really quick, we can hook it up like that. That's all the colors, but we're going to plug it into this material here and color. There we go. It just kind of looks like a plastic toy, nothing special, but that's how you get that base color going. I'm going to go ahead and control drag just to copy that. I'm on a PC, of course, but I believe command drag on a Mac if you're following along on a Mac. Go back in here, and I'm going to get this ambient occlusion. So ambient occlusion, if you don't know what that is basically what the littlest light possible would create for shadows. So like kind of in these curve areas. Let me bring this back up so we can take a look at it. Where is it? Right in there. So like around these curved areas and things like that, you can kind of think of ambient occlusion as just the little bit of light that can kind of come around and create a shadow. And the way that works in Redshift is you bring it in and you're going to multiply it. And you can do that with a composite, so a color composite. And our base color going into this is going to be our diffuse, and then our ambient occlusion. And this is like the world's smallest Photoshop right in here. So we'll hook this up right here. Maybe. There we go. Hook it up. And under composite mode, we're just going to go to multiply. And you can see here's diffuse by itself. Here's ambient occlusion by itself. Here's when we put up to composite. So it makes quite a big difference, especially in these areas in here where it's pointing out, and then all plugged into the material. So just to show you one more time, this is just the diffuse. It looks pretty toy-like. And then if I pop this into here, this into here, you can see it actually adds some pretty good depth. So now we've got our base diffuse color all set. Let's see what else we can bring in. I think next will probably be roughness or specular, something like that. Let's see, we've got metallic, roughness, Griebel, and scratches. Let's do, I'm going to do roughness. So we'll do roughness. I'll rename this. So the roughness is going to be how we control the roughness of our reflection. So go in here, do roughness, and you'll see this gets nice and roughed up. It's really fast, so looking kind of toy-like. Hook this up, and now it's starting to get some just moderate specular hits and a lot more control to it. What's up, Super Johnny? So for this roughness, I'm going to copy that, and this will be our metallic. And depending on who you talk to, there's a couple different ways that you can build this. I really like plugging in metallic to the weight for reflection, so I'm just going to put that right there. So there we go, and it makes a huge difference already. So I thought I made a big difference with the roughness, but then adding in the weight, totally. So let's take that off. So you still have like a little bit of this kind of grungy plastic feel to it, and then when you put weight in, you can really see the difference it makes. Let me just see one more thing. Nope, don't need to do that because it's actually already roughness. Cool. All right, I think the last couple of things are a normal map and emissions. So why don't we go ahead and bring in normal, right, like that, and go back into our folder. We've got this nice normal map right there. We'll connect it up here, and we'll go into overall, bump. Your normal can go into bump, or if you have a bump map, you can put it into that too. And we'll just let this catch up for a second. Should be good. And I think it's pretty mild for this bump map. Let me just hook it up here. So you can see there's not too much going on. There's a little bit of depth in these areas, and along the antenna there's a little bit more bump roughness. And I think I'm going to bring this down to like 4, something like that. It kind of depends on what version you're using, Vitus. I think there's been a lot more stability issues with R19 than there have with R18. That goes with Octane as well. I think this month that Maxon is supposed to release an update that's supposed to help third-party GPU renderers, or even Arnold, just third-party engines in general. There's something weird, but I don't know if that update's come out already or not. I haven't gotten any updates, I don't think. I'm usually moving so fast that if I get an update, I just hit OK. So if I already updated, I don't know. But yes, there have been some stability issues with third-party engines in R19, so it's probably that. As long as you're up to date with 2.551, I think that's the most recent release. I can tell you in a second. Maybe preferences. Yeah, 2.551. You should be pretty stable. I've had this probably since December or November. It's been about 3 months that it's been on 2.55 or 51, and it's been really stable. Even with R19, I don't get too many crashes. All right, so we've got our normal map in there, and I think we've got the Griebel, which we can just kind of call a bump. So we're going to need a bump blender and our bump map, which will require a texture. I hope that's something they fix in the future where you don't have to plug a texture into the bump map. It should just be built in. So we'll get that. Let's call this Griebes. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Input that, and we're going to put this as layer 0. We're going to put our normal in here too. We're going to blend the two together. Put that in the bump like so. I guess the Griebel could also be a displacement. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Yeah, I kind of like it like that. Let's try like 0.55, 0.55. Looking good. All right. So you can see this is how we start to get things together. If I go in close, you can see these little Griebel textures. It almost seems like it's wrapping in a weird way in some spots. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe it's okay. I guess it's okay. Yeah, I guess it's okay. I don't really like how it wraps around this area there. That's a little weird. This will be available later, definitely on YouTube and Twitch. I don't know how Periscope does it, if it saves it or not, but if you go to Prograph or 531, you will be able to view it again. You know what? I'm going to get rid of this Griebel. I don't really like what that's doing. And I think the only other thing is I had scratches, but I don't think I want to do that. I think this just looks fine as is. Yeah, we've got scratches there. Oh, emission. So this emissive one. So this will control some lighting that comes through there. I'm going to go ahead and do emission or emissive, whatever you want to call it. And this is going to go into our advanced. So overall emission color, like so. I'm going to go into overall and crank it. I'm going to go up to 2. You could probably get away with 1. 1, 2. Let's see. What's 2 look like? Not much difference. We'll do 1. All right, cool. What's up, Lynx? You are welcome. I don't know what you're saying thank you for, unless you're just saying thanks for the stream. See, a Roman just joined in Periscope. That's cool. What's up, Roman? So we've got all that. Looking pretty good. I don't need 2 cameras in here. That's weird. All right, so I'm going to go down and mess with some of these, like 200. I think I'd rather have that. Can crank our overexposure a little bit. I don't really need to crush it that much. There we go. All right, looking pretty decent with this. I might change my camera setup a little bit. That's fine. I think I'm going to do like a telephoto, but back it up. Doot, 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 doot. It's looking all right. I might throw in a backlight, get that going. Lock this down. cool. So pretty quickly we can start changing this up and setting up our materials, especially if it comes with materials and it's already UV mapped and everything. It's a pretty quick process. We've been streaming 20 minutes and I spent like 10 minutes in the beginning kind of just screwing around. So yeah. Just kind of getting this light in place where I want. I think for this one, do temperature, we'll make it kind of warm, so like 4K, like that. This one, let's do a color, maybe like a purple. It's probably a little too intense. We'll back it up. I think we can kind of get a bit softer like that. Maybe we'll do a round or circular disc, whatever you want to call it, like so. Boom. Something like that. Maybe we'll get a little cockeyed with it there. And this one, can bring it up to like 8K. Get some real coolness in there. That's looking pretty good. I might want to make it a little wider. So I think I'll bring the intensity down, even though I've got the width back up. 0.35, something in there. All right, so that's looking pretty decent. I think this is about where I want it. So let's talk about using AOVs a little bit and getting a multipass and setting that up. So in here, I've already got some stuff, but I'm going to clear it out and we can start talking about things. So if you are coming from Octane and you want to build your own bloom, or you want to have that bloom effect, this is the way you would do it, is through multipass and AOVs. I'm going to bring in beauty, and we can bring in diffuse filter, lighting raw, GI raw. What else do I want? I want reflections raw and a filter. Don't have any of that. I don't think there's any specular lighting. Or sorry, subsurface scatter I meant, but bring it in just in case. I think the other thing I need is emission. Yep. Any other raws that I'm missing? Maybe some ambient occlusion. And I think we're good. All right, cool. Light rays on Redshift. Like what? Like God rays? Because there's a whole tutorial on that. Or what kind of light rays are you looking for? So I'm just going to let this bucket render really quickly. I'll be fast. And so you can see, I must not have turned on my AOVs in here. Boop. Yep. All right. Sorry about that. Let that render really quickly again, and we'll get our AOVs. It's basically still the same. Yeah. Because it does it all at the same time. It might add maybe a half second. I've never really timed it to see what the main difference is for time, but it should be the same. So AO, there's nothing in there. Diffuse, you can see this is our diffuse. It looks almost identical to what it looked like when we piped it in here. Yep, if you go back and look at my lights tutorial, I talk about using portal lights and getting rays and things like that with that. But it's basically setting up a portal light and an environment. Here's diffuse raw, emission. So here's all the lighting that we can start to blow out if we want. GI raw. reflections raw, subsurface scattering, which we don't have any, and then specular lighting, which we can blow out as well. So I'm going to go in here and just find a place to save this. Let's do the live stream. And we'll call this drone base. Here we'll do AOV drone, like so. Yeah, I mean, I don't go in like really deep detail about how to use the portal light. It's super quick, but that'll get you what you need for using a window object. What else do I need? I want to make sure these are all turned on to file. And I'm going to hit save and just do live stream. Boom. And what else? I think I have this pretty small at the second, like 540. Oh no, this is 1920. I thought I had set it to 540. Cool. I'm just going to hit Shift R and let it do its thing for a second, and we can take a look and make sure we've got everything we need. Scale back on this a little bit. So looking pretty good. I'm going to go into our filter, layer, go through here, just see we've got everything. Fuse. Yep. Cool. We've got everything. All right. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go ahead and open Fusion. You can do this in After Effects or Nuke or Photoshop or wherever you please. I just really like Fusion and nodes, as you can tell, because Redshift uses nodes for its shaders. All right. By the way, if you have any questions at any point about anything, let me know. If you're looking for a cool compositor that is free, go download Fusion. It is much more in-depth and stable than After Effects for this kind of work. I'm not going to load it that way. I'm going to go in here. Production, tutorials. Cool. Did not put it in here. Oh, it did a deep one in there. Weird. Okay, so I'm going to bring in all these except for that. Don't need that. And I'll probably have to start renaming these a little bit. That says beauty. That's really dark. I think, let's see. Turn this on to sRGB so it looks a little bit more normal. So you can see right there, that is our image that we wanted. Looking pretty good, but we can do a lot more with it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this over here and rename it to beauty. Cool. Disconnect that. So what is this? This, that. It's AO. Of course it is. Don't need the AO. That's one of the ones that didn't really need. Cool. So I'm going to keep this over here. Oh, I guess I have to turn this to sRGB as well. All right. So let's have some fun. This is diffuse filter. So this is just our diffuse. And this will be a nice little test run building this out. I tried this earlier and hopefully I remember it properly. Probably going to screw it up, but that's okay. It's all fun. What's this guy called? Diffuse lighting raw. Boom. For giggles, we'll just do a quick shout out to Steve Shook, who sent this to me, and Chad Ashley, who did something similar to this before, but we've got this cool little lineup of how to build this. So got diffuse here, and you're going to plug it into your raw lighting and GI, raw reflection, reflection filter, things like that. I don't know if I'm going to go that deep into this. I might just use the beauty and start blowing out the emission and specular a bit, because I just don't really want to build all that. So let's take a look at these. This is diffuse. Don't really care for that. What are you? This is emission. Cool. Just call this emiss. You are GI probably. Let's see. Yep, GI raw. We can keep that. GI raw. Kill these. You are a filter. Whoop, filter. If I can type. Cool. Raw. And I bet this is specular. Yep, spec. Cool. I'm going to get rid of all these merges. All right. So, these guys up here. We've got our beauty. So beauty is just a lot of these things combined. Emissions is going to be our emissions. So I'm going to get what is called a merge node. If I bring this in here, put it over here, and I bring this here, is going to be on our foreground. You can see it's kind of like a mini Photoshop like we were talking about before. I'm going to select this merge, and we can start playing with it however we want. We can screen it in, we can start to play with the blend and the gain. You can see it doesn't really do too much here. Multiply it in, hard light it in. Exclusion. I think what I'm going to do is do a screen. So you can see it's just a little bit lighter in there. And what I'm going to do in between here is bring in this glow and start playing with that. And let's go here. I'm going to bring this one over here. Go like this. And you can see it's a completely non-destructive workflow. If I would grab the right output, there we go. So any updates that I make, I can go back and take it apart, and it's like having history all the time, while like in After Effects you kind of have to bake down the pre-comps and all that jazz, and it gets kind of poopy. So I've got this base glow here, and I'm gonna just blow it out, just like really get it wide. I think that's a little bit too hot. That's definitely too hot, but like right there's probably too hot. Bring it back in, something like that. I think that's pretty good. All right. And I'm going to make another glow. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit Control V or CV. And this one's going to be a lot tighter. So we'll bring it in here. You can see it keeps the outer glow that we already got, and then kind of just builds on top of that. We can really push that if we want, or we can do it completely separately too if we wanted to. It's getting a little hard, I think. If I do merge under, upper blend, threshold. Might play with the threshold a little bit more. Nah, let's just keep it simple like that. You can see we're starting to get these glows and some really nice stuff. I'm gonna actually do multi-box and go up to like 6. At the moment, Redshift, because I can use, well, I used to be able to use Pixel Plow, but you can use render farms legally. They actually have render farm licenses that farms can get, unlike Octane, where you can't really. They really want you to have whatever license and things like that. It's got a lot more control for like production. So if you've ever used standard and you didn't just jump into a third-party render engine with Cinema 4D, things like turning off global illumination, you can do that, and it can make a scene really fast, especially if you know how to light it well. Sorry for drinking so much water tonight on this stream. Apparently, whatever I had for dinner was super salty. I'm usually not this thirsty this late, but yeah, Redshift, just because there's a lot of things I can do to speed it up. Like I can get a render down to like 2 seconds a frame if I really want to, like I was saying, with turning off global illumination and lighting it really well. I really like the node-based workflow. Of course, you can do that in Octane, but one of the biggest things I had when I switched away from Octane was just that constant need for more cards and more cards and more cards and VRAM limits and things like that you don't really get with Redshift. Corona, I've honestly never used Corona, so I can't really judge it. However, Arnold, if you were to throw that in the list, I would choose Arnold over everything. The only reason I don't is because I just need speed. But Arnold is beautiful, and it's like it just seems flawless at times. Like you can throw in an Uber shader onto an object and just select aluminum or whatever. It basically looks like what you want. You don't have to really do too much to it. Well, with like Octane and Redshift and stuff, you kind of have to add a little bit of artistry to it and finesse. So yeah, there's all that. So definitely in order, it would be Arnold, especially if they come out with GPU, and then Redshift. Yeah, GPU Arnold is totally my dream too. I'm really hoping that it comes to fruition soon. So, all right, let's see. So GI raw. I don't know that I want to do that right now. Collection raw. I want to do specular. So, all right. So, like I was saying, what's cool about this is we've got all this merged over here. Now let's say I want to start messing with the specular. I'm just going to bring in another merge and out like this, and then bring in our specular. I mean, Redshift has a lot of Arnold's nodes. I mean, they don't have a lot of the same utility nodes and stuff. But it's pretty close. It's not identical, of course. And I know what you're saying. It would be really great just to have Arnold on a GPU. Someday we'll get that. All right, so what am I doing? I've got the specular put in here. And we're gonna, I guess, screen it on top. It's not really giving me as much as I was hoping. Let's see. Keep that here. This is over here. I guess it kind of is. A little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pushing some of these with curves and I mean, I don't really do interiors too much. I would say like GPU wise at the moment, Redshift, because it's just so easy to hey Sean, what's up, man? You're watching on Periscope? That's crazy. I think Redshift for GPU is probably best for interiors. Seems like Corona is taking the spot of V-Ray at the moment, especially since they've been bought up by V-Ray's parent company. So we'll see what happens there. Sean, who's, I guess you probably can't see him, Brian, but he's in Periscope right now, and he does the Corona tutorials for Brograph. He could totally tell you all about Corona interior and ArcViz and stuff like that. You were saying Control T to swap inputs? Good to know. Good to know. I think I still want specular on my foreground, so that's fine. All right, so I'm gonna start blowing out our specular with some curves. Actually, no, I want a color corrector. We'll do it like that. And put this over here. Boop, put that there. No, don't want lift. Maybe gamma a little bit. All right, so I've really brought these speculars up a bit. Then I'm going to do a blur. Someday I'll learn all the key commands in here too. I mean, what Pools, I don't really understand your question. You want to leave a comment for your friend that passed away in 2017. Am I understanding that right? All right, so the specular, I'm gonna kind of blur a little bit. That's getting a little too much, but I mean, the internet's open, man. You can do whatever you want, but it's a little bit weird. I gotta tell you, it's a little weird. Okay, I I I don't care. It's just weird. Like, why would you do that on a live stream? Well, I mean, you should probably go to like a military live stream and post there. Like, what purpose does it serve to post here? You're his dog. Oh man, I can see where this is going. Wow. Yeah, David, you nailed it. Thanks, David Tran. All right, so you can start to blow this out and blend it more, and it, this is the same thing that happens in Octane when you start playing with Bloom. Is it picks up the specular, it starts to blur it a bit and blow it out. I could even throw a glow on here. Nope, I want that there. It's getting to be way too much with a glow. We'll dial this back for sure. All right, so I don't know if I like that in there. this blur's getting a little heavy too. Dial that back. Dial the blend back as well. Maybe even bring that back in some there. Cool. So that's it. So does anyone have any real questions? Scrolling through. By real questions, I mean not by pools closed boy, bark bark, doggy guy. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna mess around with any of the GI right there. Let me take a look at the reflection filter. No, that's okay. We'll keep it like this. I guess I could bring in the reflection raw and boost up some of that too, but that's okay. What's up, Mark? Well, I started off showing how to hook up all these materials inside of Cinema and Redshift, so where the diffuse goes and ambient occlusion, metallic and roughness and all that. And then went in here, and this is Fusion. I started compositing it. So we've got like a beauty pass right here. And then this is an emissive pass. So yeah, we did like a multipass out of Redshift using the AOV manager and just quick little render setup. And so I've got this piped into a glow and then another glow here. And then these get merged together. And then down here, I've got some specular, which then goes in a color correction, which gets blurred just a little bit, probably be blurred a little bit more. And then put a glow on that, which then comes into here. And so it's kind of recreating that bloom a little bit. It's a pretty mild one here. I don't really like it really strong. I like these like soft glows that can happen and kind of give like a more environmental feel. And then might come in and put in some curves with the beauty up here. So I'll just do like a quick color corrector. Maybe a little bit more gain. Or bring back the gain a little bit. I mean, I didn't work on the actual Dead Mouse event. That was David Aryev, Matt Milstead, and Dave Koss. So Dave and Matt run Brograph and the podcast. David Aryev is a friend of everyone's, and he's on the podcast a lot. And they were all up in Canada. Let me see if I can find their stuff. What am I looking for? Dead Mouse. Rick and Morty. Here we go. Yes, Octane Jesus. I lost my other window. There we go.
What's that beeping sound, Rick? Wow, that shithead up there really has it out for us. The last time I saw one of these, it leveled 18 city blocks. What? Do something! We gotta stop this thing, Rick! It's gonna kill us all! Calm down, Morty. You distract the mouse. I've got this. Hey, stupid mouse character! Lucky for us, that dumb fucking mouse has zero idea how to...
So this is like the big secret project that everyone was working on. I'm just gonna jump ahead, and so it's like a New Year's Eve countdown. I might do an Instagram. Let me go find David Ariev. You can see his cool race car that he built. David, are you going to the store? Yeah. Yeah, Justin Roiland did the voices. I guess, Joel, who is Deadmau5, knows Justin on like a personal level, and through the idea to Justin, and Justin's like, yeah, sure, and recorded a whole skit, and Brograph cut it down, and got to work on it at Deadmau5's house with David Ariev as well, and yeah. Yeah, David also just did a bunch of new stuff for iDesign that you can go check out if you are an Octane user, and how to do wet maps and stuff. I've gone over how to make a wet map a few times, or not wet maps, wet roads. I've gone over that a couple times on the live stream here for Redshift. What's up, Grant? I saw you in there, and then I started talking about the Ask GSG thing. But yeah, David's awesome. He's just super creative, and yeah, that's all I can say. Have you guys seen his whales stuff? He's got like super duper whales for this album that announced. God, it's small here. Let me go to Vimeo. David Ari. I can actually see it. Maybe. There we go. It's whales, whales, whales. So David did all this in Octane. DP'd it, and yeah, just a lot of really cool work. All this stuff open still. Cool. I just realized I don't have this going anymore. There we go. So, questions. It's just like free for all. Got some Wyland inspiration. Like you mean Wyland from Blade Runner, or not Blade Runner? Is that Wyland Corp, or is that Prometheus and Alien? Object ID stuff. Like what? Like what specifically? Because it's kind of be similar to the AOVs that we outputted. I feel like I get asked this question on a live stream every week, but let me go do a new scene. Redshift object override. All right, so make this 1, 2. I will have to look up who Robert Wyland is. I gotta say, I am not familiar with his work. I've missed out somehow. IPIV, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. I'm just gonna quickly answer this question about object IDs. So there's a few ways to do it, Ryan. You can do an object ID pass, come in here, and when you output it, it will, let's do this really quick. Oh, I don't have my AOVs turned on because it's a new scene. There we go. Run it really quickly. Come into your object ID, and if we start looking at some of the information, just need to bring this way. Open this here, go into Pixel. So you see object ID, you can highlight this. Scalar is 1, 2, 3. Display is 2, 4, 6. And you would bring that into, say, Fusion or After Effects or whatever, and use those. I was communicating with Andrew. Man, I can't remember his name right now, but somebody was emailing me saying that there's a couple other free plugins for After Effects and Photoshop that really help with this. I can't remember off the top of my head. Is there UV coordinates AOV? I know there's a utility for UV. Hold on, let's see. I don't think there's one right away, but let's see if we can do it with like a custom AOV. So we'll do Redshift material, utilities. No, not OpenEXR. OpenEXR is like file format that you would save out. It's definitely part of an EXR program. I think it's called Pro EXR, and it gives you the ability to use this because we were trying to do it with Extractor inside After Effects. I think it was last week or the week before or earlier this week, whenever. I can't remember when things are. And we were just having a ton of trouble getting it to work. So this person emailed me and told me about that plugin. So, I mean, here's this UV coordinates. And the way you would get it for a custom AOV would be over here under AOV. You can do store color to AOV. Let's go ahead and do this. And we'll do AOV input 1. come up here, just have it. I guess I need to put it into the beauty to have it pass through properly. There we go. So under AOV name 0, we'll just do add custom AOV, and we can do UVW, and that's how you get a UVW pass. And then if we come in here, do UVW, UVW, there we go. If my tablet would work, that's it. If you see it, you will know. I mean, it sounds really familiar. I probably will know it. Most face for huge. Huh. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. So David, yeah, it's simple but not. So just create a utility UVW and then get a store to AOV or store color to AOV, and then that's that. And then you'll see it's in your dropdown, and you could do it per object too. But when you save it out, just make sure you have file selected, or it will be baked into your EXR as well. But you are welcome. Yeah, it's pretty simple considering. Yeah, then you get all these nice coordinates in here too. What other questions do you have? It's already 10 o'clock, so I'm probably gonna wrap it up in, I guess, the next 5 or 10 minutes, depending on what questions come in, because usually around this time, it seems like people start to join in. I'm surprised Kira's not here, even though it's like 4 or 5 in the morning her time. So Kira, if you join late or start to rewatch this later, I'm just giving you a shout out, because you always watch the live streams, even when you're like half asleep. Why would you use a UV AOV? You know, I can't answer that question because I never use them. I would say if you want to rewrap something later in compositing, is that how you would use it, David? Because I would say I can't think of a time I've ever used a custom UVW output. I think I keep saying AOV because I'm losing my mind, but I mean UVW. But Brian, did that answer your question with IDs? Now that I'm going back and thinking about that, I've talked about it quite a few times. So if it didn't, you can go back and watch a previous tutorial or live stream. But if you don't want to do it this way with like a scalar and display, you can use a puzzle mat if you want. Bring that in here, and then you just select this to 1 1 1. And then under here, we can do just OB1. So now, do I not have one of these set to 1? I do. Why? Object 1. Why is that not picking up? I'm doing something. Oh, because I have material. There we go. Didn't change that to object. So replacing or adding detail on top of textures after the render. Yeah, so it would be like wanting to replace an entire texture, right? If you guys don't know who Hugo Guerra is, he's awesome with compositing. You should go check out his live streams and tutorials. I think it's Hugo's Desk, and he talks a lot about compositing and the purpose of render passes and what each one's used for and how to set them up right. Vic, you're welcome, man. Thanks for joining as usual. You've been a super supporter lately, so I appreciate it. Just scrolling through, see if I missed anything before I wrap it up. I think that's about it. All right, I don't see any more questions that I missed. Stability issues, I already talked about that. Cool. All right, last call for questions before I close this out. Dude. All right. I think that's gonna wrap it up. So, if you Hugo's Desk, yeah, Hugo's Desk is a YouTube channel, and let me just bring my browser up really quick. Boop. Hugo's Desk. So this is Hugo Guerra, and he is a compositor at, oh man, what is it called? Something without fire. Man, my brain is just like fried tonight for whatever reason. But anyway, he's like a super compositor, and he talks about how to switch from After Effects and use Nuke, and how to properly key things. And he's got a whole series called You Just Have to Be Better, or You Just Have to Get Better. Where are they? Yeah, You Just Have to Be Better. And I'm not going to play any of them, but he talks about supervising tips and using geometry to mask elements and particles, making realistic fire glowing in compositing, how to relight things inside of Nuke after you've already rendered them out, using a position pass, using a depth pass properly, how to clean up files and edges and things like that. So he's just got a lot of great information. Mark, thanks, man. And you too, Vitus, for coming on by. So yeah, I think I'm just going to wrap this up right now. There we go. Nice and big again. So again, thanks everybody who stopped by. If you have any questions, you can leave comments below or reach out through Brograph. It's brograph@brograph.com. I'm Liam at 531.com. If you just do a search for 531, you'll find me. I pretty much have every social media locked down with that. Yeah, we're going to start doing these on Thursdays again. I'm going to try and start rolling out tutorials again on Tuesdays. If you want to jump on the Brograph Slack and start letting me know if I could talk right now, what you want to see, that'd be awesome. I've got a backlog of stuff that I wanted to make before and I just never did. So I might start doing that. What else? Any other big announcements going on? I think that's about it. I've been pretty swamped with work, so that's why I haven't made a tutorial, plus the holidays and all that. So it's just kind of been easier to jump on and do a live stream for an hour here and there instead of think about tutorials. What else? Oh, you know what? If you want to support me and Brograph soon, they're going to start selling my material packs. There should be a link below, but if you go look on Gumroad and do a search for 531 there, I have material packs for Redshift that I've been selling. I've got a leather one, a glass one, a ceramic one. What else? Did I say metal already? So yeah, quite a few packs now, and they're pretty cheap. If you look around, there's coupon codes that bring them down to as little as $1. If you ask really nicely, sometimes I just give them away for free too, but you have to ask really nicely or have a really pretty mouth. All right, guys, have a great night, and thanks for joining. I'll talk to you all soon.